What's going on, guys? John Elder from codemy.com, and in this video, I want to talk about the database primary key for our Treeview app with Tkinter and Python. Alright guys, like I said, in this video, I want to talk about the primary key. We need to get into that a little bit. But before we get started, if you like this video and want to see more like it, be sure to smash the like button below, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, and check out codemy.com where I have dozens of courses with hundreds of videos that teach you to code. Use coupon code YouTube1 to get $30 off membership with all my courses, videos, and books for one-time fee at just $49, which is insanely cheap. Okay, database primary key. What am I talking about? Well, in the last video, we connected this thing to the database, and you can see we're pulling our data from the database and putting it in our Treeview, and you'll notice this ID column. Now, this is a little weird, and we need to kind of talk about this. This ID came from several videos ago at the very beginning when I created this fake data. I just put this number in here, but that's not good enough. We need to generate this automatically in the database. That's what we're going to talk about in this video. But before we get started, I'm using the Sublime Text Editor in the Get Bash terminal as always. And as always, you can find a link to the code for this video and all these videos in the pinned comment section below, as well as a link to the other Tkinter playlist videos. There's, I don't know, going on 200 by now, so check those out if you haven't so far. So, okay, what am I talking about? This number right here. Remember when we created this fake data at the beginning, I just made up this number. And that was fine then, but now we're connecting to the database. And every time we create a record or edit a record, we need a unique ID number to, sort of associate with each of these records. So you don't want to look up Bob Field or Aaron Smith because there might be 20 Aaron Smiths in there. You need to look it up by a specific ID. It has to be unique. So for instance, 14. And that worked fine when we were doing it this way, but we're not doing it that way anymore. We're doing it with the database. So instead of just using a made up number, we need a primary key. And with databases, a primary key is a unique ID number that is either created or assigned whenever you create a record, right? So we're using the SQLite database right now. We're probably going to switch to MySQL or Postgres in the future, but for right now, we're just getting the kinks worked out with SQLite. And luckily, SQLite creates a unique primary key for you every time you create a row or every time you add a record. So that's really cool. We can access that instead of accessing these weird numbers that we just made up. So that's what we're going to look at in this video. So let's take a look at what's actually being pulled out of the database when we run our query. So remember in the last video, we set all this up, and if we come down here to the bottom of our code, we can see when the app first runs, we're running this query database function. So let's go find that function. It's probably up around the top here. There it is, query database. So in the query database function, we're connecting to the database. We're creating a cursor, and then we're executing. We're saying, hey, select everything in there from our customers table. And the customers table is the table that holds all of our data. So when we do that, we're then sort of fetching it, right? Fetch all, and then we're assigning it to this records variable. And then down here, we loop through that records variable and we output onto the Treeview each row, right? So instead of doing that, I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to go for record in records. Let's just print the record. Let's just see what's getting actually pulled out of that database, right? And we can do that just like this. Now this will print this right to the terminal whenever we close the program. So let's go ahead and save this. And let's head over to our terminal, and you notice I'm in our C GUI directory that we're always in. And let's just run our file. So Python treebase.py. And when we do, it opens. And then when I close it again, boom, it prints out all of the stuff from the screen onto the screen from our database. And you'll notice John Elder, there's the ID number we created. That's not the actual primary key. That's just something we created. The address, town, state, and zip code. You'll notice there is no ID. But like I said, SQLite creates one for us, but we have to specifically call it. And we could do that. Let's see, head back over here. When we run our query for the database, instead of saying select everything from the customer, we want to select row ID and everything. So we can select both the row ID and everything else because they're kind of separate, right? Everything else we put in there. The row ID, SQLite creates itself. So it sort of distinguishes differently between the two. So we have to specifically call it by calling row ID. So now, just by making that change, we'll keep this print thing the same. Let's save this and run it again. And let me clear the screen. So our app runs. When we close it, boom, now you see it has the row ID, which is in fact the primary key. Now this will be a unique number for every record, and it just so happens that these sync up. So row ID 9 is our ID 9. That's just coincidence. If I was building this from scratch, I would not have put this ID in there, but we didn't sort of do it from scratch. We were kind of fuddling along while making the video. And at the time we needed to create an ID, ourselves probably. And so I did, but what we really want to do is just reference this row ID. So, okay, let's change our app around so that, let me run this again. See, right now we've got the ID. Well, here's something curious. Notice everything's messed up now. First name is listed as 1. Last name is listed as John. The ID is listed as Elder. Why is that? Well, that's because the data we're pulling now has an extra column. So when we output it, there's an extra column to deal with. So we'll need to tweak that code, and we'll do that in just a second. But you'll notice from now on, we don't want this ID to be the ID we put into the database, which is this thing right here. We don't want to reference these anymore. Instead, we want to reference these. So I hope that makes sense. We want to start using the primary key, the row ID, for the ID in our Treeview, not this made up thing. And if I was really serious about this, I would delete these, but I'm not all that serious about this. This is just for educational purposes anyway, so we'll leave it in there because it's kind of interesting and we need it for earlier videos. But from now on, we're going to access this row ID. How do we access the row ID? Well, we're still spitting out this same list in tuple form. Now the 0th item of each of these tuples is going to be the row ID. So this will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you look back at our code, if you remember, when we output this onto the Treeview right here, let's see, we reference those numbers. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So we need to tweak these because let's pull this back up. We can see the 0th item right here is now 1. It's not first name, right? So we need to change this. The first name is not going to be the 1th item. So let's just go ahead and change this. So this will be the 1th item. The last name will be the 2nd item. The row ID will be the 0th item, right? And then the next thing will be not 3 because that's our old ID number. So the address is now going to be 4. This will be changed to 5. This will be changed to 6. And this one will be changed to 7. And now these are for, I think, even. Yeah, even. We need to make the same change for the odd. So let's go 7. We could just sort of manually do it like this. We already sort of know. And I think this is the right way to go here with these numbers. We'll run it to make sure. But I think this is right. It makes sense to my brain right now. We'll see if it actually translates onto the screen. So, okay, now this should work. So let's go ahead and save this. Let's head back over here, close this guy. And let's run this one more time. And let me clear the screen just for fun. So now, all right, it looks like everything's back to normal. John is now first, Elder, last name. The ID is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. And again, this ID number is now the row ID. It's not that dummy data that we put in from the earlier video. It's the actual row ID, which is the primary key, which is being generated by SQLite whenever we create any new record, which is fantastic. The address is correct, city is correct, state looks right, and zip code looks right. So now our data is all fine. Now, when we click on one of these, you'll notice these boxes update still correctly. That's because these boxes aren't coming from the database. We're pulling these boxes straight from the Treeview. So if we look back at our code, let's look down at the very bottom, I believe. Yeah, right here. This is where we're binding the Treeview. So when we click on it, it runs this select record function. So if we search for that, there it is, select record. And the first thing it does is deletes everything in the boxes, and then it grabs whatever you clicked on in the Treeview, and it grabs those values, and then it inserts those values one at a time into the box. So it's grabbing those values from the Treeview, not the database. So the flow is when the program starts, we're querying the database, we're taking that data, looping through it, putting it in the Treeview, and then we're good to go. Then if we click on the Treeview, we're taking the value from the Treeview, not from the database, and we're putting that in each of these boxes. So we don't have to change anything here. That still works. So I think that's pretty much it. This is not a very exciting video, but In the next few videos, we're going to be updating and changing this data in the database. Right now, we can make a change. So I can come up here to John and I can put John Elders and I can click update record and you can see it updates here, right? It doesn't update in the database yet. So let me change that back to John Elder, update it. And here we can add records and remove records. But again, we're just adding it to the Treeview. We're not adding it to the database. So we're going to do those in the next couple of videos, but we can't do that until we sort out this primary key thing that we did in this video. So now we're good to go. Each of our things has primary keys. We know what record numbers those are, what row ID numbers those are. And so in the future, when we want to update one, we're not going to update John Elder. We're going to update 1, right? If we want to update Mark Lane, we update number 8 because there's only one 8. There's only ever one primary key. They're unique numbers. So if that's what I want you to take away from this video, primary keys are unique numbers. Most databases will create primary keys for you like SQLite has done for us here. Some of them don't, and you'll have to sort of say, hey, create a primary key, and we'll look at that if it comes up. But as far as SQLite goes, it makes it for us, so we're good to go. So that's pretty much all I want to talk about in this video. Again, not a very exciting video, but in the next video, we'll jump in and start actually updating these things in the database. So you'll see how to update stuff by the database and the Treeview at the same time. And that'll be hopefully a little bit more interesting than just this primary key stuff. But like I said, we had to talk about it first before we get into those other things. And now we've done that. So that's all for this video. If you'd like to, be sure to smash the like button below, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, and check out codemy.com where you can use coupon code YouTube1 to get $30 off membership. So pay just $49 to access all my courses, over 47 courses, hundreds of videos, and the PDFs of all my best-selling coding books. Join over 100,000 students learning to code just like you. My name is John Elder from codemy.com, and I'll see you in the next video.